Hey guys, it's Logan Freeman with the LiveFree Investors Podcast. I interview investors and business owners who share investment advice so you too can live free. Today, I'm talking to Aaron Clemons. Aaron, in a few sentences, tell us who you are and what you do.
Hi, Logan. Thanks for having me. My day job is managing partner at Clemons Real Estate, which is a full-service commercial real estate brokerage that really was built to handle the full life cycle of a real estate investment for investors. What I mean by that is we help the investor not only buy and sell assets, but we can help them renovate and manage as well. We have a brokerage division, a management and leasing division, and a construction division.
Absolutely.
In addition to being the principal at Clemons, I'm also an investor and developer as well.
Right. Yeah. And I'm, you guys are helping me kind of take one of my broken projects right now and trying to get it back on the rail. So definitely appreciate that. And, maybe you could tell us a little bit about how you got started, because I think the story about how you started Clemons Real Estate's really kind of interesting. So take us back to kind of what that looked like whenever you first got started, Aaron.
Sure. So back in about 2003, I was actually living in Colorado, was kind of in and out of college and being a ski bum. And my sister had started her career in commercial real estate.
Yep.
My dad was winding down one of his businesses and somewhat retiring from that business and wanting to get into real estate investing full time. So Audrey and Tim, called me up and said, "Hey, if you want to get in on this, come back to Kansas City." And so I effectively started Clemons Real Estate as a small management company and investment company for our family's investments.
Absolutely. Yeah. I've interviewed a lot of people, Aaron. It seems like that's how a lot of folks get started, right? Is like you create a vehicle that can protect your own assets. And while you're doing it the right way, other people want to jump on board.
Right.
Yeah. So what's the best thing about being an investor and a business owner?
What I like specifically about being a real estate investor is the hunt of the deal.
Yep.
And then figuring out how to reposition the asset. And then finally, the transformation process is so much fun. Seeing something go from a dumpy property into something spectacular and something that, makes a good living.
Yeah, absolutely. Providing clean, affordable, safe housing is just such a rewarding feeling. And I know that's the print, the tenets that you guys have built your business on is making sure that you're providing a quality product to your end users. So I appreciate you sharing that. There's a lot going on in the kind of the economic world, the social world with all the distancing and maybe some of the what we'll call the stay-at-home order starting to be pulled back right now. But, keeping up with the current trends and opportunities is always a challenge. So I'm just curious how you stay up to date.
I think just staying informed on what is going on in the markets that we work and invest in, reading publications like the Business Journal, reading market reports like the quarterly report that CoStar puts out, networking with other individuals in the real estate industry, and then just keeping up to speed with what projects are going on in and around our communities.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's great. And I think the most experienced folks I've had on the show, the best way that they stay informed is by just interacting with other folks, especially the ones that are on the front lines doing projects and in the city kind of actually transacting. So what's the best advice that you've received as a business owner and an investor?
I don't know if it was said to me exactly like this, but I'd say my dad probably, who was my mentor and still is my mentor in real estate investing. He always reminded me not to get emotionally attached to the investment.
That's right.
The numbers don't lie. Stay focused on how the property performs on paper. And I would say that's real estate can be sexy, and you can get lured into to other aspects of the real estate. And so just staying focused on what type of return is the most important thing.
Absolutely.
And then I would say this really wasn't advice, but I would say the best education I got early on in my career was being a property manager and learning the operations of an asset, going through the budgeting process, keeping the books. All of those pieces helped me, extremely helpful in the evaluating process and modeling process of investments.
Absolutely. I would say the same thing for me. It's not been much on the management side, but I've been involved with over 150 transactions now that, I've got to see the good, the bad, the ugly, everything in between. It feels like, I've taken, almost decades of real estate experience and like compressed it into this certain amount of time, because I've been able to see from, shopping centers to single family homes and almost everything in between, kind of what goes wrong, what to look out for. And you can't do that unfortunately, you can't do that by just reading a book. You have to kind of just get in there or just find somebody like you did with your dad that has been in the trenches and learn from him too. So that's really good. So this is like a really social show. And I want to give you the opportunity to promote somebody that you think would be maybe a good, a good guest. So what other successful investor or business owner like yourself should be on the Live Free Investor podcast?
I know that you've already had Audrey on the show, but she'd be one that I would have put out there. I think my father and mentor, Tim Clemons, definitely is somebody that I think you might have to keep him on track a little bit.
That's all right.
He likes to talk. So, but another person who's got some investing experience, but tons of business and leadership experience is Todd Zahner, who's our chief operating officer at Clemons.
Absolutely.
Another one that'd be great for your podcast.
Awesome, man. Thank you for that. So I have to ask, what are those books in the background?
They're encyclopedias, actually. And so I'm actually sitting at one of my Airbnb properties, and so they're really more just like decorations.
I love it.
Old world book encyclopedias.
Awesome, man. That is so awesome. I was like, man, I wonder if he's read all of those books, but they don't look the same. Okay, cool. So this is the most important question of the podcast, one that I didn't prep you for. And so I really want to understand, you're a business owner, you're an investor, you've got a lot of experience, but what's the best way that you know how to live free?
I would just say being true to myself and honest with myself, and staying focused on what's important to me.
Yep. That's great, man. Yeah. Staying and keeping towards, working towards that true north. That's definitely spoken like a true investor. Aaron, how can we find you and get a hold of you? And if you don't want to be getting a hold of, then that's fine too. But how can people follow you?
Well, my Clemons Real Estate website is www.clemonsrealestate.com, and all my information is on there. So anybody who needs to get in touch with me can find all my contact information there.
Awesome, man. Hey, this is Logan Freeman with the Live Free Investors Podcast, where investors and business owners share advice so you too can live free. For more insights and ideas on how you can live free, connect and message with myself on LinkedIn today. Aaron, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks, Logan.
Until next time, guys, live free.